There are so many different apps out there, so many different strategies to get your messaging out there. It can be a little confusing on how to put out the message. But even before all the apps, there were people failing at marketing, spending a lot of time and a lot of money not getting the results. And do you know what the big challenge has been? Glad to have you here because we're talking about building a story brand, giving a book review, and some highlights from Donald Miller's best-selling book, Building a Story Brand. Now, if you have ever tried to market your business, especially in today's modern marketing world, you might realize that it could be a challenge. There are so many different apps out there, so many different strategies to get your messaging out there. It can be a little confusing on how to put out the message. But even before all the apps, there were people failing at marketing, spending a lot of time and a lot of money not getting the results. And do you know what the big challenge has been? It's not been the technology, it's been messaging. So, in this video, I'm going to be sharing some of the highlights from the book StoryBrand so that you can apply this in your business. And I'm also going to be giving my official review. This is a book that I recommend those that are looking to improve their marketing read and check out. It is an easy read, provides practical examples, and will share best practices for crafting a message that drives action. So without further ado, let's get in it. All right, so the challenge again, there are so many different ways you can put your marketing message out there, and people get lost. They see the shiny objects, they see the newest platforms, there are trends going out all the time. And with all the different directions, it can be trying to chase the right direction to really get your marketing to work. Now, the solution is to ignore all the signs, ignore the shiny fish, and really get clear and focused on who your marketing is for. You need to know who you're trying to speak to and then what you're trying to communicate to them. Because when you can connect the value that you provide to your ideal potential customer, you get your message in front of your market and speak to them on what their challenges are and what they want in a compelling way. That's how your marketing lands. Now, StoryBrand is famous because it really gives an outline and a framework to the hero's journey. And if you've ever watched a movie, chances are you've seen this happen time and time again, whether it was Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games, or Harry Potter in that, what's his movie again? Harry Potter, right? It's following a pattern of a story. There's a character who has a problem and they meet someone who gives them a plan and calls them into action. And either they could fail or they can succeed. And this is a process that I'll go over further in another video. But for right now, know that this is the framework that's being taught in the book StoryBrand. And it's important because people tune into stories. People are moved by stories. And when people can listen to a story and have an aha moment, I get it. This communicates to me. It's compelling. I'm interested in learning more. Then your marketing will land. If you give too much technical information, it can totally overwhelm people. They don't relate to it, and it could just flow over their head as marketing mumbo jumbo. Which, by the way, likes and subscribes are highly appreciated if you're looking for more insightful videos, resources, and guides to help you amplify your business so that you can attract more of your ideal customers and guide them seamlessly and subtly to become customers that pay, stay, and refer. Like and subscribe. That's highly apprecited. You can learn more at growthamplifiers.com. So let's talk about the book here. Well, the first chapter goes into more detail about why most marketing fails. And it's important to know this because if you're doing any sort of marketing, looking to grow your business, you don't want to repeat others' mistakes. When you understand better why most marketing fails, you can avoid those pitfalls. Number two, it goes over the story brand framework. Again, I'm going to cover this in another video, but the StoryBrand framework is just what I shared. The 7 stages of telling a story that guides people through this journey so that they can understand how they can get what they want and avoid what they don't want. Okay, and it gives some examples, shares some best practices. And then number 3, the third part of the book, is implementing a story brand script. So it's nice to develop your story, to have that plan, but how do you implement that into your marketing? And they share how you can put it into your website, how you can put it into your social media, how you can put it into your newsletters, and create a compelling story so that when you're connecting with people, you'll have their attention, they'll get it, they'll relate, and you can guide them to the next step in their journey. And when you're doing it with the right intentions, authentically trying to help the people you serve, it can be really powerful. Plus, there's examples, tips, and resources in this. So, this is a great book that I've recommended to those I work with. As a certified marketing advisor and business coach, I like to share resources that are helpful to help people amplify their business. So, here are the top 5 takeaways from this book. You can jot down, make sure that you're putting it into action. Number 1, clarity is critical. So that's one of the biggest challenges most people have with their marketing is they're not being clear on what their message is. They're not making it really easy to understand what they offer, the value of it, and how to take the first steps into getting those ideas into action. So if your message isn't clear, if people are having to second guess what you do, it's not going to be effective. So you definitely want to take the time to craft your message in such a way where it is very clear and you can follow a framework and a formula to craft your message. Number 2, you really want to know your audience. So if you're going to be speaking to startups or you're going to be speaking to Fortune 500 companies, or maybe people who are getting ready to retire from their business, whether you're speaking to teenagers or senior citizens, where people are at in their lives, in their journey, their demographics, their psychographics, which are basically their personality traits. If you really want your marketing to land and hit the nail on the head, you've really got to know your audience and speak their language. For instance, if you were a radio station and you were trying to attract and build a rap station for rap music, you wouldn't want to start playing country music. It's going to have the opposite effect. You got to play and put out the frequency that your audience is looking for. Speak to the challenges they have, to the solutions and desires that they want. That's how you'll craft a message that they'll understand, they'll relate to, and they'll lean in. And then you'll tell a story because stories sell. There's a reason why most successful programming isn't educational. It's entertaining. Look at movies, look at TV shows. People like to watch stories. They like to get involved in the characters, see them overcome the tragedy to achieve the triumph. They remember this. This is how we remember things. So when you craft your message, your marketing message in a story that lets people experience and overcome the potential failure to achieve the thing that they want, people will remember that. So when you're crafting a story, it can be really powerful to make your marketing message memorable. Now, this is a key point too that was helpful to be reminded of. You are the guide in the story. You're not the hero. So there is a time and place to elevate your brand and positioning as the guide. My book, Amplify Your Business, The Rockstar Professional's Guide to Marketing Success, talks about building your personal brands. And that is important. You want to be seen credible as an authority in your space. However, the show is not about you. You're the guide. You're the Yoda to the Luke Skywalker, right? You're the Hagrid to the Harry Potter. And you got to remember that because your potential customer, your customer, is the hero. They're looking for their transformation, and you're just giving them a pathway, a plan to achieve what they want. So remember that in the story, it's not all about you, it's about your customer. And then number 5, last but not least, create a clear call to action. So you don't want people guessing, well, what do I do from here? what is the next step, really spell it out for them. Tell them what the steps are that they need to take. If they're watching a video, ask them to like or subscribe, which, by the way, you should do that now. If they are at your website, tell them that they should fill out the contact form, what the next step is from there. What is that journey? Tell them you have a plan to get from where they're at to where they want to go. Have that call to action be clear. And those are the 5 takeaways from building a story brand. And remember, things can be simple, but simple doesn't mean it's not powerful. It's actually really important to go back and make sure that you're actually doing these things right to get the correct result. So, question for you, we've been talking about StoryBrand, but what do you think of StoryBrand? Have you used it? Have you found it effective? What do you like best about it? Put it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to share. And if you have another framework that you've used that you've found effective for getting your marketing message out there, please feel free to share that as well. We're always looking to share and help people amplify by getting better, becoming more successful, and better serving their mission. So it's Kenny from Growth Amplifiers. Thank you so much for tuning in, for your support, and I look to catch you on the next episode. To show your support, take a moment to amplify this message by sharing it online. To connect with me or gain more business growth insights, visit www.growthamplifiers.com. Thank you for your support.